2, 1. Hello, welcome to another stream. I am Callum, the community manager here at Steel Sky Productions, and I am joined today by our creative director and mastermind of everything, Neil. I've got his image down below. Say hi, Neil.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, good. Just a little bit tired, aren't we all?
Yeah, I kind of got to sleep about 4:45 this morning.
Oh yeah.
That's what happens when you launch games and you live in Australia.
Yeah. Like there's no time to rest.
None
Yes.
at all.
So obviously there's a lot happening right now. We are currently in Skulls for the Skull Thrones, number 4, the big event across all Warhammer video games on Steam, where they're seeing a lot of discounts, we're seeing a lot of cool items and everything coming out. So yeah, it's very exciting stuff. And we've got some cool stuff in the game as well, don't we, Neil? What's one of the cool things?
Well, we've got this brand new warband that we re-released last night called Thorns of the Briar Queen.
Woo!
Are very, very cool. We're very excited.
Yeah, very, very excited to show those off.
Super excited.
I'm just going to actually transition us over to our main screen so we can show those off and check those out. Yeah, it's very, very exciting. So I guess one of the first things that we're getting a lot of questions about, why this warband, why now, all that kind of stuff. Because we only announced that we were working on this warband, like as our next warband yesterday. So I guess the reasoning behind it is because we're wanting to be bringing you something cool and unexpected for the Skulls Throne event. And with that, we've got the Briar Queens. It was something that we were already developing, but we wanted to be showing off cool new features in the future, aka magic and everything like that, and being able to implement things from different seasons into the current season while still keeping it balanced, as that's something that we've kind of kept as one of our major goals moving through how we've been releasing everything. So similar to the universal cards, for example, or other warbands, we're making sure everything's balanced and fair in the meta while still making it fun. So it's very exciting to see this here today, and we're going to be showing off some of that. But other cool stuff we've got for this event, as well as people might see, is we've got a cool environment, don't we, Neil?
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, the art team's done a really great job.
Yeah, they really have
for the event. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, it's very, very, very corn-like, very red. Lots of fire.
Very red. Yes.
Very good. Yes, very red.
Yeah, so I guess we'll just jump into the game. Now, if people have questions, feel free to ask those questions. We are streaming on YouTube, on Twitch, and our Steam store page. We have all those chats open, so if you have any questions, feel free to hit us up, and we'll try to answer some of them for you. Then I am going to be uploading this as a pre-recorded stream over the weekend, so please ask questions, as people might have more questions in the future, but if we're not live, we can't answer them immediately for those people, but maybe you, our community, our audience, can help answer those questions, so that would be great. So
hey Callum, why don't we have a look at some of the Briar Queen cards?
There it is. Yeah. So Briar Queens, as we know, as we discussed, is one of the first things that we've got with Magic. So Magic users have special power cards, or gambits, or whatever you want to call them, where they can roll spell dice, and with that they can cast these ploys that people will be used to, but with that comes risk. Magic comes at a cost that if you roll, I believe it's 2 or more criticals, you can actually damage yourself. So there's always that little bit of risk and reward with that. So Stanley says, "Oh, good, this is on Twitch. Hate the Steam stream interface." Well, thanks, Stanley. But yeah, so we've got with the Briar Queens themselves, we've got 7 in the warband. So larger warband, similar to that of the Sepulchral Guard that we've already got in the game, and their Inspire activation, or anything as you would want to call it. So their Inspire conditions are to actually be 1 tile adjacent to an enemy fighter at the beginning of an activation, of your activation specifically. So being a larger numbered warband as well, obviously that leads heavily into objective tiles and everything like that. But, you know, people don't want to sit here and have me explain it all day. We want to jump in and play some games. Now, you would have also seen here that we've got some cool stuff happening with these cards. These cards look a little bit different because as part of our Skulls for the Skull Throne event, we do have a new card back. This is a new cosmetic that we've got in the game that's just been introduced. So anyone who's jumping in for the Skulls event, if you play a match, you'll be unlocking this skin for your cards, and hopefully we'll be able to do more cool stuff like this in the future and implement more of that. Mikrat says, "Ooh, Scully." Yes, much skulls. So Neil, we're gonna play a game, right?
Well, we would if I if I could just finish downloading the update.
That's all right. We can wait a little bit. That's fine.
So you can either jump online and play somebody online, or maybe play a bot match. It's up to you.
I'll jump in and play a bot match. I need to warm up. Hey.
Yeah.
I need
you certainly do, because I'm coming for you.
Good. Yeah. We're up against this Sepulchral Guard. Alrighty. So yeah, as I've said before, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. That's what we're here for. So what are you planning of playing against me, Neil, when you finally get on? You mentioned that you've got an Oryx deck.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of decks. I've got an Oryx deck and I've got a Magor's deck. So the Oryx deck, I was actually invited onto a different stream the other day, and I was playing that, and it was quite fun. And I would put a lot of the cards in there from the latest card release that we released. What was that? A couple of weeks ago, I think. Was that?
Yeah, that was, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
And I think it's important to note that with our game, if you go into the community announcements on Steam, you'll see that we've actually been regularly releasing universal cards, because the universal cards for our game, we're going to be releasing them at regular increments for free, essentially.
Yeah.
So, because unlike the physical board game, the universal cards were usually included in the warbands that you'd buy, the miniatures. So we're doing things slightly different to the physical game. So yeah, so my Orc deck's going to have a few of those new cards in there, which I'm just getting used to, because 1 or 2 of them I hadn't actually used before when we used to play the board game.
Yeah.
I've only recently included them as part of the digital version. So
there you go. Yeah. So right now I'm just setting up my setting up my fighters and everything, and I'm just still in awe of this chaos bridge that's been set up. It's quite hectic. As we see, we've got a lot of skulls everywhere. No surprise. But it's great. It's beautiful. It really feels like the city is under siege by the Khorne's followers. Hey. You've got like little camps and stuff set up everywhere.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. I like the little skulls that are piled around.
Yeah. Alright. So I'm going to... So similar to the Sepulchral Guard, one of the fighters, Varklav, can actually move some of the fighters, but instead of having like it be a move action, it's actually a push action. So you can actually push, 5 of the other fighters about. So that gives you a lot of mobility in the game, gives you a lot of ways to place people, get objectives, all that kind of stuff. So I'm actually going to pop you up here. So usually you wouldn't really want to have these smaller, squishier characters about, near enemy fighters at the start of the activation, because they could just, take you out one hit. But what you're hoping for is you don't get taken out and you inspire next round, as you'll hopefully see against this bot, but you never know.
So Callum, because
Yes.
you've played with these a little bit more than I have.
Mhm.
Would you say they're a bit more aimed at an objective-heavy decks? Securing objectives with keys and objective cards.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or are they a bit more aggro? Or can you play both styles, do you think?
I think with all of our kind of like universals and stuff going forward, like there would be the potential of playing aggro, but it's very selected aggro. So similar to like the Sepulchral Guard, how you've got kind of the 3 aggro fighters being like the Prince, the Champion, and the Harvester. Here you're a bit more limited to, you got the Everhanged and you've got Barklove, who might do a bit more damage, but the rest are all kind of the Chain Rasps. They're all kind of like not limited, but they're all kind of squishy. So it's better for objective held kind of things. Or
You've used the word squishy a few times now. I like it.
Well, that's how you describe low health characters. Is that they can easily be taken out in one hit, depending who the fighter is. So you just have to be a little bit careful. Now I'm actually going to try and go all the way up the back here and take out this petitioner. Why? Because why not? Why not, Neil? Hello, FT.
Are you using the starter deck for your...
No, I've actually, this is a deck that I have edited a little bit.
Yeah.
It does have majority of the new cards, so as in the faction cards, but otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. You're not going to be seeing anything out of the norm. Ooh, Maddening Cackle. This is one of my favorite cards with this faction as well. So it's a reaction play. This after an enemy fighter's attack fails, that fighter is no longer inspired and cannot be inspired. So that means essentially if someone misses, they can't be inspired again. So that's devastating for someone like Magor's Fiends, where they inspire upon a successful attack. So it's like an extra kind of little jab or a wound, being like, haha, you failed. Now you can't ever inspire for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's pretty vicious.
Yeah,
pretty vicious card.
Very vicious. Now what am I doing here? Chill Shepherd says that they're excited for the new Warband. Downloaded it today. Woo! Very exciting.
Yeah, they look amazing. When the art team, they've been working very hard on making them look really super. And when they started showing off some of the animations, especially with the cloth stuff, because it took quite a lot of work to get that kind of swishy cloth feel on them. And blew my mind when I saw those.
Yeah. Give them all the little wispy kind of ghoulish feel to them. I love one of my favorite animations for them is actually being inspired, or like when they spawn, just the all the particles can go with it as well. No,
they look really, really great.
Huge shout out to our art team. They've been working very, very hard to make sure that we can get this working. Just because obviously, you have certain ideas about how things will go, and then things change in the middle of production. So, trying to get these cloths just right took a little bit. Took a lot.
They faced a few issues which they weren't expecting. No, they came good. I mean, it just looks amazing. Yeah, it brings this warband to life so brilliantly. Makes them stand out as well from the other warbands that we've got in the game, which is great.
Yeah. Another thing we should note, obviously, is with this update, we've actually put in some small quality of life changes as well, which we'll be able to go jump into a little bit more. But the major thing has been the new button on the side that says Show Hand. So that's when you have a reaction card that you might be able to play, and usually that will pop up. If you wanted to just double check what actually is in your hand, you can select Show Hand, and that will bring that up for you. Now I'm just got a little bit of feedback there, Neil, just so you know, but it should be all good. So we're going to... So now I've put on an upgrade for Varkrav. I'm assuming that's how you say the name.
Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
We'll probably get told off by somebody now.
Oh, yeah, of course. I just blame everything on the Australian accent, though.
Yeah, I can't really do that with my English accent. So,
yeah, I mean...
the Home of Games Workshop and all that. So.
Yeah. I mean, being English yourself, you kind of just you have to roll with that, hey, and just be like, yeah, it's that's definitely how you pronounce it. Cool. I'm going to go and I'm going to move some people about. Oh yeah. Ooh, so wispy with that Inspire. Oh, that's why. I'm just like, oh, why is my computer struggling a little bit? And it's because I had Photoshop still open.
Nice.
Yeah, classic. Taylor's oldest time. Because I'm running 5 very, very like RAM heavy software bits all at once. You know, because that's what you need to do apparently. Yes. All right. So an example of one of my favorite parts of this warband as well is that it's very easy to get score immediately one. So one that I just got was score this death sentence. So score this immediately if 3 or more friendly fighters are adjacent to the same enemy fighter. So if you have a lot of like chain risk or up in near someone, you can move them about and then surround someone and get that immediately, which is kind of cool. One of my favorites. I'm going to actually put this. No, I'm gonna hold on to that for the time being. How's your download going, Neil? Going good?
I'm gonna check up on it now. Yeah, it's not far off actually. Give it a couple of minutes.
Couple of minutes, fantastic. Ooh, okay, interesting. Okay, so skateboard widgets. Oh yes, so this is also one of my favorites. Is for the Briar Queen, Inescapable Vengeance. So essentially, when you make a charge action with the Briar Queen, you can actually have her appear on any starting hex as that charge action. So if you've knocked someone off a starting hex, which as we can see are these white ones here, then you can just bring in the Briar Queen and essentially spawn from there and attack someone, which is very, very cool. I am going to see if I can't. We're going to try to take out this petitioner, please. Oh, some interesting dice rolls here.
Classic Warhammer Underworld's dice rolling.
Ah, yes. Yeah. So I guess one of the big questions as well, Neil, that you know, so I guess you would have been asked this a few times, but for people who don't know, how did this game come about? A lot of people want to know how
Mm.
a small indie studio from Melbourne ended up working on a Warhammer IP, and kind of that process.
Yeah, sure. So look, we've worked with Games Workshop before. Uh, many of the team that worked on this game, we've worked as a company called Tim and Games for a number of years. Historically, we kind of did a lot of games that were kind of like choose your own adventure books, and did a lot of the Fighting Fantasy series, if anybody remembers those. There's a series of game books that were released a number of years ago, and we got the license to do one of those, which was called Legacy of Dawn, Herald of Oblivion. It's actually available to buy in the sale here on Steam if you want to check it out.
There you go. Got to plug. Got to get that plug in.
Good bit of a plug. So look, we've worked with Games Workshop on that in the past, and so we already had a really good relationship from that. And as the guy that runs the studio, and I go around looking for new projects. I just want to work on cool stuff. I desperately was wanting to work with Games Workshop again in the future. And then this project came about, and it was really exciting. So it's it was quite as the relationship was already there. It was quite an easy. It wasn't easy, but it was a straightforward thing to start talking about, because we'd already worked with them before. So.
Oh yeah, and with that as well, obviously, one of the projects you had just finished before moving on to this was Table of Tales, and also Warlock from Firetop Mountain, which both are kind of had this element of miniatures coming to life, right?
That's correct. Yeah. So Warlock of Firetop Mountain was our first foray for taking the game books, the sort of choose your own adventure books, into a more sort of video game aspect in terms of having sort of 3D graphics. And so we ended up creating this kind of pseudo board game where you sort of move little miniatures around a 3D dungeon that kind of comes to life before your eyes, and you sort of make choices, and you kind of go into dice rolling battles and whatnot. So it was kind of our first sort of stab at that. And then the project we did after that was actually a PlayStation VR game called Table of Tales: The Crooked Crown, which is a similar thing again, but it's about a table that comes to life, like a Dungeons and Dragons table, and you're able to control a party of miniatures that go around this table, and you roll dice and you play cards, which is kind of funny, really, because kind of what you do with Warhammer Underworld. So it's been a bit of a natural progression, really, from Warlock through to Table of Tales and then onto Warhammer Underworld. So a lot of the experience that we kind of got from making those two former games, we were able to bring straight to the table for this game, which was obviously quite good. Because as a video game company, you need to kind of build on what's gone before. You build sort of tech, and you build experience with the different team members doing different things. So it was a really good fit for us. So it was really exciting when we got the license to work on it. Super great.
Yeah, well, obviously you had already shown that you could work on, and get this feel for the miniatures coming to life, which is super important when it's already an established IP, like Warhammer. And so being able to show that you can bring that to life and get that feeling right. And obviously as well, we had played a lot of the game ourselves in the office, so we kind of knew the feel moving forward. But also what was super important in the kind of earlier stages of development as well was testing and getting people who had played the tabletop version to play this game, to make sure you getting that feel right, because it can definitely go wrong if you don't have the right kind of feel of like, why can't this just be a 2D game? Like, why make it 3D if you're not going to see all these cool effects and feel that environment and everything like that?
Yeah. I mean, we play the board game, as you know, loads in the office, and and it's the game has a certain feel and a certain aesthetic to it, and it's really important that we kind of like, really envelops ourselves in the world and the characters, and understood you understood the gameplay well enough that we could then make really good design decisions, to actually, because there's a lot you have to take into account when you're taking a physical product into the digital space. And Warhammer Underworlds Online is almost a one-to-one of the board game. So but there's some things that you take for granted in board games that you don't have in the digital space. And then there's things that you have in the digital space that you don't have in the board game space. So you have to kind of, it's a delicate balance of how much control you give to the player and how much you automate, and making those kinds of design decisions.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that even has changed in the development of the game in general, where at the beginning we're getting a lot of feedback that a lot of like the interactions were just like a little bit slow, but for a tabletop game you'd be able to take your time, and you'd be having that conversation with the other player while you're making these decisions, and be able to kind of gauge people's impatience and things like that. But because you can't actually read the other player, in an online space, we had to kind of quicken these interactions. So that's where we like quickened animations, we quickened like draws and things like that. People really seem to respond well to that. So it's one of those things that with this game in general that we're just going to keep developing and keep hopefully adding these quality of life improvements, and I think people respond really well to it.
Yeah, and look, we've got a great a great load of people on our Discord, and who are constantly giving us feedback and helping us test a few ideas out here and there. And I mean, it's a great community of people, and we're indebted to them really, because they're the ones we want to make the game good for them, and so it's really, really useful feedback.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, what's happening?
I've got orcs ready if you ever want to jump out.
Okay.
If you're winning and you want to see it through, that's fine.
I'm nearly done. Like, I'm legit last activation, last round. So this has worked out really well.
Yeah, because I had you on the stream a little while ago and I was watching, but I obviously switched over. So you moved on fast.
Oh yeah. Well, this last kind of round, I haven't had any cards to play. Ah, dang! The bot got denial, Neil. It was going to be a draw, but then I was on an objective, so I would have won. But gosh darn. Okay. Cool.
Denial. Beautiful, beautiful denial. Denial and Conquest are the most end game cards.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I can't even be mad with this defeat screen right now, because it's glorious just seeing all like the flames and skulls everywhere. For a moment there, I thought that we would have played with the idea of like dropping skulls on the scales instead of glory, for the event, but that might have been a bit much. Might have been.
Maybe next year.
Yeah. Which has been it's been difficult to keep this a secret, hey, because at the same time you want to be kind of getting people excited about like the next Warband and everything like that, but at the same time you can't just say, oh, here come the Briar Queens. When? Soon, in a special way, for a special thing.
It's always tough making games and keeping things secret, because you've got to you desperately, especially as the creators of things, you desperately want to show these things off because they're cool, and you want to tell everybody about it, and
Yeah.
you can't. And
You can't tell everyone everything all the time.
You can't.
Okay, so I'm ready to jump in. What code are we going with? What's the code going to be, Neil?
What do you normally use?
I mean, I can do.
Why don't we just put in like Steel Sky or something?
Okay.
One word.
Steel Sky. There we go. Yeah, so as Neil mentioned before as well, make sure if you are interested in joining our community, we do have a very active Discord where you can ask about the game. We have channels there dedicated to deck building, talking about the tabletop version as well, obviously, and the devs, we're quite active in there as well to talk about all kind of cool stuff that we want to be working on, want to be implementing, and why we chose certain things,
Yeah, so great. There's about is there 5,000 people on there now?
Yeah, we just clocked over 5,000 just the other week, so it's very exciting.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's a great place actually because it's not just we're not just talking about Warhammer Underworlds Online either. There's lots of chatter in there about miniatures gaming and painting and lots of other things as well. So
I love seeing the painting.
Yeah, the paint jobs are amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, don't longboard me.
Oh yeah, I'm longboarding you.
Oh my word, I hate long. Right. All right. You want to play that game, do you?
Yeah. Well, remember, I'm hopefully playing against Matt later, so Matt's not gonna ease up on me.
No, he's not. I'm actually quite easy fry.
No, we've played some matches before where you've definitely bet me, and you're. I'm not gonna say you're a sore winner or anything like that. I'm just you like to celebrate your victories.
Well, one of the first I remember one of the first when we first had the board game in the office a few years ago. We played like a little mini tournament in the office, and I won every single game. And I thought, this is obviously my game now.
Yeah.
And then over time, everybody else has just got so much better than me. so I'm probably now bottom of the ladder in terms of.
Okay.
Right, let's have a look here.
Yeah, I'm looking at things.
What am I doing here? That's going to be interesting. I'm going to keep those.
Hello, Volunteer. Hello, Dante. Good to see you all. Just checking out the chats. So yeah,
cool.
I'm just showing off right now, Neil. Just give me a second. So as you can see here, placing fighters, I can do this to show my hand, so you can actually have a look through what's in your hand now. That's been one of our little quality of life improvements, where we had a lot of feedback from the community saying that they wanted to see their cards when they're placing their fighters, so that they actually know what they have, because there's people didn't feel that there was an adequate amount of time between the two actions. So yeah, we've taken that feedback on board and we've implemented this little button here, which I think is super helpful.
It is really helpful. People have been asking for that for a little while actually, and so it's really great to get that in.
It's been very cool. I love all these spookies. Just they're so spooky.
They are. They're lovely. Lovely. Do you like my red outfit, Neil?
I love it's the Datuffs or something like that. I believe the name is something along those lines.
Yeah, they're ace. And I'm loving the new card back as well. Lovely.
Oh yeah.
The special event card back.
I can't wait to see, if we're doing more card backs in the future. What would that look like, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's great because it's who shall I go first? I don't know what to do. I'm gonna let you go first.
Oh no! Oh, that's not what I wanted to happen.
The card backs are great because we'd like to do more of these in the for sure. So people that play the game, yeah, keep your eyes on.
I just realized I actually have to now win some games as well to unlock some of the new skins for the Briar Queens, because I don't have any of those yet. So that's going to be interesting.
Some of those are really lovely too. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. What are you up to here?
I don't know. Don't.
Moving some ghosties around.
Just moving them about a little bit. Don't worry about it too much.
So I had a really great bot match game the other day against the Briar Queen. Well, no, who was I? No, I was Briar Queen against Orcs, and the Orcs beat me like 11-6 or something. So.
So did you take notes?
I did, but you know, different conditions this time.
Yeah.
What do I do? Do I do that? I don't. He got.
I'm not sure if you saw, Neil, but I actually went by the office, and I do have my Skulls mug back. I'm drinking from that today.
Oh, good. I miss that Skulls mug. Since we've been in lockdown, in isolation the last few weeks, we've not all been able to hang out like we normally would.
Yeah.
So
I totally miss... dang. So that was a spell card failing, just so you all know. But yeah, like I miss just being able to go out for lunches when we usually have, you know, a launch like this one. We would then, you know, make sure everything runs smoothly, and then we would go on our merry way. And you know, have a couple of drinks. Not too many drinks.
Being tricky. Yeah, it has been. It's been tricky because we actually released the game during isolation as well. So
yeah.
Yes, take that. Take it.
All right.
What shall I do here?
Okay, and so then what we're gonna do is
activation 2 for you. Where are you off? I see what you're up to.
I'm coming for you. That's fine. I didn't need you to do that. I just needed you to do that.
Excellent.
So I could get that.
What did you score then? What's that change of tactics?
Yes.
If a friendly fighter on the guard makes a charge, I see. So you put your character on guard to start with.
Yeah.
Yeah, jolly good. So that's a pretty good little card, actually, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a freebie if you just sort stuff out.
Yeah. Well, so because you put me first as well, right?
Yeah, sure.
That means I could spend that first activation putting someone on guard. Though there is a faction card for the Briar Queens that you can use to put someone on guard. So it might have even been that, you know, after your first activation, if I had that card, I'd be able to play it, and that means someone's already on guard, and that means in my first turn, I would have been able to play it, you know. Oh, there it is.
Go, I'm getting some good rolling today. This is going my way.
Going your way. Alright, so I'm going to then...
Actually, longboards are really good. It's really good to show off the Briar Queen, actually, isn't it?
Yep. So what I'm showing off as well right now is, so a big part of the Briar Queens is the ability to actually move through fighters. So I just, you know, did a little twirly there to go through you, and there is reasoning behind that, but I don't think I'll be able to properly show it off anytime soon.
Right. It's really funny because my orc deck is very tailored to fighting quite aggressively against a high health warband.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're all quite low, I've got some really cool cards that I just can't play.
Well, all right. So, what have I? Can I do anything here? Not really. What I can do is just move in. Yeah, just a friendly reminder to anyone who's watching. You know, we're quite happy to take questions. We're taking questions on our Twitch,
Sure, far
YouTube,
away.
and Steam store page. We have one question from Volunteer saying, "You guys don't crunch on making all this content, right?" We, as any studio, we try our best to avoid crunch when it comes to bringing out content. You know, we work our darndest to try and make sure that we're not pressuring people too much. You know, there was a very quick turnaround with this one, but that's also because as we mentioned before, there were some technical difficulties with the cloths and stuff like that. So that was a factor that we had not considered. But we've been able to get it together, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, definitely as a company, we definitely try and minimize any kind of crunchy overtime stuff as possible.
Yeah, and make sure that if people are, you know, feeling as though they need to work more, then it's just like, great, cool. Well, you know, take multiple days off, please. Like,
yeah. There's a few people having a few days off in the next few weeks.
I know a lot of the art team have taken today off.
Yeah. I don't blame them. That's good.
Yeah, because they need to go and play all the Warhammer games currently on sale for the Skulls event. Boom.
Nice segue.
Thank you. We've got someone's. I'm assuming all the Warband stats and cards are the same as the tabletop game. Yes and no. We are doing things slightly differently when it comes to releasing cards. But otherwise, yes. Very, very similar. So questions that have come up a few times in Discord is about the 3 to 4 player games. Looking at the rules of the board game, seems like it would be fun for alternative modes. Do you want to take that one, Neil?
Yeah, sure. Look, listen, we want to do all the things, absolutely all the things, but and the reality is, you know, we can't just do all the things. We can't. It's, you know, developing a video game is quite complex, and oh, by the way, you might hear children in the background screaming. Yeah, we can't do all the things because, you know, it's quite complex. So, look, it's definitely on our wish list. We would love to do that, because I think that would be an awesome thing. But at the moment, we're just concentrating on a 2-player game. But, you know, never say never. Who knows what the future will hold?
Exactly.
So that's the answer.
Yeah. Well, I think with that as well, people, you know, need to be aware that trying to do 3 to 4 players just from a QA standpoint, just because like my background has been QA as well, that means that you would probably need, you know, not double, not triple, but quadruple the amount of testing as you would usually need, right? It's a lot. So to be able to get that right, you would need a lot of time to get that right as well. So you probably won't be seeing it soon, but it is something that we do want to be looking into in the future. But yeah, right now, it's not going to be happening tomorrow, say, you know. Because remember, we are a small team. I'm going to go first.
Hey, Callum, I'm just going to go on mute for about 2 minutes, but
Yeah.
I'll keep on playing. All right.
All good. I'll answer some questions while they're going. So, I'm just going to. I'm going to move through all of his things and go here and attack from behind, because why not? Look at him go. Whee! Gonna move you there. Okay, so Tony Wong says, sorry, I'm gonna put you on guard. Tony Wong says, hi, I bought Warhammer Underworlds online like a month ago. It's my first time playing Warhammer games. Cool, awesome. Thanks for joining, Tony. Hope you're enjoying it. Dragon wants to know about spectator modes. Spectator modes are something that would need a lot of work as well, in the sense of trying to moderate, make sure everything's fair. Fortunately, yeah. Listen to Filthmancer right now, because Filthmancer is Matt, and Matt will be joining us on the stream very soon.
Very well. What?
Yeah.
I go away and I've gone away, come back, and you've done things.
Yep.
That's just.
I did one thing, Neil. I did one thing, but you know it was an important thing to do, and I'm going.
It was a very important thing.
I'm going to be doing another thing in a second. So
oh, great.
Let's.
I can't wait for that thing.
Here we go.
Right, what do I play here? Who's in trouble? Dr. Jones.
Tony wants to know, do most players play the tabletop version before? We have had some people, like a lot of people come in and from the tabletop experience, and that's mainly as well because we've encouraged that from beta testing and everything. We had a lot of people, ask us about the development of the game, and we wanted to get them involved as soon as possible to help get that feel, that tabletop feel. But there has been a lot of newcomers as well. So for some people, this is their first venture into a Warhammer game, which is pretty exciting and pretty cool, I think, anyway.
Oh, what? Oh, good. I wasn't sure I'd done that then. Yes. So I used the, I had an upgrade on that, on Bash.
Yeah.
I was able to, he had an extra cool weapon. Okay.
This is going to make things a little bit harder for me.
Yes.
But
that's what I need. I need to do that.
It's alright. I'm just going to...
This game has a wonderful way of making you feel like you're in the ascendancy and control, and then just flipping the table on you in one fell swoop. So I'm not resting on my laurels at all.
Yeah, that's what we like.
That. Oh, okay.
I just wanted to... If I can move you away a little bit, that'd be great. Cool, thank you.
God, this is pretty good game.
We're going okay. What's this? Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put that on you here. Where it was. By the way, Neil, Matt had said before, having Neil's face up there looks like this is an obituary stream. Because
No, not yet.
I've taken your profile picture from your LinkedIn, so
Yeah,
it's the
that's
black
my
and white
picture.
one, like you with your big cheesy smile. So yeah, it does look a little bit like we remember him in the good times.
Yeah.
But
Well, I've no doubt you've got some card tricks up your sleeve that's going to be taking me out in a minute, so it'll probably be out.
absolutely not. I don't think I have not been as lucky with the rolls as you have. What are you thinking?
Right.
What are you doing?
I know. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? I think I'm just going to have to go for it, I think.
Oh, okay.
Boss on boss. Come
Yeah.
on.
That will do it. That will do it.
Do I want to re-roll that?
No, absolutely not. Well,
I
I've
might
got
get
2
another
dice, but I don't think I'll be getting 2 crits. No.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Oh yeah!
Just as I cry inside. Alrighty.
I think we should name this one Thorns of the Prior Queen. Okay.
That was just a deep sigh from me. Just the deepest of sighs. I will say, Matt, if you're still watching, please feel free to send me what you want your profile pic to be, because otherwise I'll choose it, and that might not. It might not be what you want it to be. Just saying. Obviously, I would keep it tasteful, but dang, like my cards have not been great at all.
Yeah, it's all not past that for me. Right. Wow.
Yeah, you're just knocking it out of the park with these rolls.
I'm going to let you in on something. I've had the option to play Twist the Knife about 5 times, not needed
Yeah,
to do
you
it.
haven't needed it. Of course not. So yeah, I've got 2 fighters left in the last round. Let's see how we go.
But having said that, I mean, one of the great that's probably worth noting with Warhammer Underworld, you can actually get into a winning position with having all your warbands having been taken out.
Oh yeah, absolutely, you can.
Sometimes the objectives, it's more important to score your objectives. I don't think in this game you're going to be able to do that. Maybe you are. You might pull a fast one on me, but yeah, it's going to be him. So I'm placing a key, a special objective, special upgrade rather. Usually I play keys at the end, so I keep it a surprise. But I think
I think you're safe. I think you're safe.
Playing it, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. I'm going to go that way.
Tony on YouTube says that they can't wait to see more warbands.
Yes.
Yes, awesome. So this reaction has allowed me to cut down one of your dice rolled for when you attack me. So instead of rolling 3 dice, you only roll 2. And now I'm going to play Madden Cackle so that he's not inspired anymore.
Oh, that wasn't very nice.
I mean, it's not very nice that you've just destroyed my warband or whatever.
Well, this is true, but what can you do? Right. Right, we're going to the last round. So yeah, if anybody's new to this game, there is only 3 rounds in a game of Underworlds.
Exactly.
And so it's really, it's a great game in that you really have to. In actual fact, you only actually have 12 activations in a match. So you have to make every one of those 12 moves or activations. Sorry, count.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you say it like that, because I completely forget. Because sometimes the matches feel like they go forever, and then sometimes they're so quick. But that's because it is only that small number, right?
Yeah. But it's but you can see when I've been playing against people that know the game really, really well, you can see that some people tailor their warband and tailor their deck build to suit that exact number of, they're playing the probability game of drawing the right cards at the right time. And I think that's the key to becoming good at this game, is to choose a strat, choose a warband, build your deck with that in mind.
Yeah.
But then also, this game has, like I said earlier on, has ways of going a bit pear-shaped. On you.
Yeah.
And so
100%.
and so having ways to have some decks have some cards that are very good at dealing with that situation, that you can turn your strategy on its head halfway through a match even.
What do I want to do, Neil? I don't know. I don't know.
It's a bit tricky. Just I don't know.
I'm trying to choose what's my best course of action to just die, essentially. So we shall see. All right. Actually gonna keep you there.
Excellent. Yeah, it's a tricky one for you at the moment.
Yes, it is. It's gonna give a little bit of health. Not gonna do much, but it'll do a little bit.
That's a shame. Yeah, so I've not been able. There's some really good cards I've got that I've not been able to play just because it's not been worth playing them.
Yeah.
But then in any other game,
You'd be smashing them out.
Oh, actually, that's tricky. You just that's interesting. Let's get some of those supports, hopefully.
Okay, so then let's.
Oh, you got a oh, you see, this is it. You're creeping up. This is the game. If you like, it's actually a lot closer than it looks.
But then you kill me, like that.
Well,
and I say, how dare you?
Yeah, I'm just preempting your mini turnaround in it, because I've been in games where it's done that, where I've been so sure I'm going to win.
Yeah.
And then there's just been like some cool twist to the tail.
I can tell you right now, Neil, you were fine.
I know. Yeah.
I love that. It's like, yeah, I know. It's like, I'm just trying to be nice. All right, come on. So I'm just going to draw out a card. Let's see how that goes. That doesn't help me.
Oh, that's a good idea. Right, what do I do here? I tell you what I'm going to do. So, what do I do? Do I be nice? I'm going to be nice. And I'm just hoping you're going to be nice back.
I mean, that's not how this game works, but sure.
Oh yes, sorry. Just saying, I could have run up the field there, taken you out. I chose not to.
Sure.
Actually,
yes.
Because you uninspired me, I've only got 1 damage anyway on my attack, so I wouldn't have been able to take you out anyway. So, well done for that.
I mean, well done to you. I think is more to the fact. Yeah, look, I have not been fortunate in my rolls.
It's quite funny actually, because I think the last 3 or 4 games I've played you, you've beaten me quite comfortably.
Yeah, this is a real cut to my ego, Neil.
Yeah.
To my pride. That's the main thing that's.
We've only got the most amount of people viewing the stream than we've had before, so.
Oh yeah. It's good to get it live on camera.
I'm going to get rid of it. So, yeah, anybody watching that doesn't realise, as one of your activations, you can actually, you can either draw a new power card, which are the cards on the left, or actually discard and draw a new objective card, and that's good at this end game when sometimes you're just looking for objectives, and sometimes you can draw an objective which is actually helpful.
All that dice.
Oh, look at that. Good.
It's not helpful, but. Ugh.
Right. So, can Gerzag put this game to bed? Let's see. Come on, Gerzag, don't let me down. There's 2 hammers.
Look, I think you'll be fine. I haven't rolled that many crits at all. There you go.
And do you know what? Just because I haven't been able to,
you're going to twist
that
knife. Yeah, it is. There it is.
Didn't need to do it.
Well, I'm going to do Vengeful Curse and just do 1 damage against you. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've finished the game.
We finished.
Exciting.
We finished the video game.
We did. Let's see what. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that. Look at all these things you have. Oh, wow. Wow. Cool.
That's the best scoring game I've played against you ever, I think.
Well, it's good that that's happened now, because this is going to be streaming all weekend. So people will be able to see that
over and over and over again. I love it.
Yeah. Well, awesome. I'm glad that worked out for you.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Thank you.
That's A-okay. Now, so hi Kickcord over on YouTube. So yeah, Neil, thank you for joining in for the stream today. We're going to jumping over to Matt in a second. I'll probably need to get that all set up. Do you have anything you want to say to anyone watching right now?
Oh, just go and get the game. It's great. It's a really good, fun game. We've worked very, very hard on it. I mean, the board game that our video game version is based off is awesome.
Yeah.
And so you look, it's and we've got lots of exciting things coming up. So you know, we have a great Discord community. We'll be sharing lots of information on there. Yeah, loads of really interesting stuff coming up, and you know, and we like we've said all along from the very beginning, we're not following the natural release order of how the board game went. You can already tell that with Thorns of the Briar Queen. So, you know, there'll be a few surprises, a few things up our sleeves that we'll be doing. So yeah, please come and play. It's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, thanks so much, Neil, for jumping in, playing some games. Right now, we're going to take a quick break while I get this over to Matt, and yeah, we'll see everyone very soon. All right, bye, y'all. Bye. 3, 2, 1, and we're back, everyone. We're back with Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
Hello.
How you going?
Oh, I'm good. Are you excited? We're finally here at the Skulls event.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited for Thorns. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna play them today, but the all of the animations and stuff just look so ridiculous. They look so good.
Yeah, actually, I'm
It's
gonna.
really a step up.
Oh yeah, I'm swapping us straight over to the home screen, if you will, and just all the skulls everywhere. It's beautiful. Now, something I actually wanted to talk to you about as well was because obviously this game's been in development for a while, right? And do you remember last year doing the Skulls event and doing the stream?
Yeah. Yep.
How like reflecting on that now? How
Reflecting on that. Well,
like,
I mean, I think the big thing at least is having this great background stuff for the main menu. Because at that point, I think the extent of our Skulls event was having a card back and changing up the board so that their tiles had little skulls on them. So then that was about the extent of the event. And obviously we weren't live, so we weren't giving stuff away like we're giving away the card back this year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's weird to think because like I remember for me before joining the team, like that was one of my first entries was seeing like you and Steph and like Amelia just like playing, and I was just like, oh, this is cool. Like this is a cool game, it's a cool concept, and now we're here a year later, so it's kind of like a surreal moment of like, oh wow, like this is what we're doing.
Yeah, you can definitely think of the development of this game as between two skulls, because before that it was really just like me and Ed kind of fiddling around on our own for quite a while, just testing things, figuring out stuff, and then after that is like after like Skulls especially and stuff was when we started ramping up like Warband development and card development. That really helped a lot.
Oh yeah, and I mean we saw a huge spike in interest as well for the Skulls event because that was like the first time you were showcasing the game as well, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
And now we're here, and we're going. We've got so much content has gone into this update as well. I don't think people really realize because we've got obviously the Briar Queens, but then also we've got the quality of life improvements with the showing your hands and everything like that. Like it's just a lot,
Yeah, there's a lot of features that we always want to get in, and we're really keen to also kind of make sure that things don't, because there's always stuff that we would like to like just swamp in that people have good ideas online about the game, or we have something that we're really dreaming of getting in for a long time, and so we just kind of want to push that stuff in as quickly as possible, but you also have to kind of like take a step back and not go ridiculous with it. So like because it can always cause new problems, or things aren't built in the way that users actually want them to be built, and so there's a lot of things that we're sitting on, just like having a hand button, so having a button that shows your hand at any time, and like having these card backs implemented, the skulls for the skull throne card back.
Yeah,
and we've been just sitting on it for a long time and gone, now is the point.
Now is the time to put it in. Yeah,
it's always the case with all of these updates.
Yeah, so one of the biggest things with having these card backs as well, it that leads the way for us to implement more cosmetics like that in the future, which means more things for people to unlock, meaning more like cool stuff we want to be doing in the future when it comes to like how they will look, effects, all that kind of stuff. Like it will be really super cool for the art team. Believe it or not, Anaxanamun on Twitch says, Skulls, that was a year ago?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was, Steph. Yes, it was. Steph being one of our artists who was actually on that stream a year ago, which is wild. So, ready to jump on for a match?
Yeah. You want to do a code match?
Yeah. We'll just do a Steel Sky.
Okay.
I
can't remember if this is case sensitive.
I can't remember honestly either. But...
I went all caps Steel Sky.
All caps Steel Sky? Alright, I'll do that.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I put down
I
3
don't, I
ears.
don't think it is. I don't think it is, but I should really know that. But it's been a while since I put that in.
Yeah, same. I usually, when I'm doing these streams, I'm jumping in, just doing ranked matches against people, seeing how we go.
True.
So,
Oh
like,
my lord.
while I just remember, just a reminder to everyone that we are doing the Skulls Throne event. We've got the game actually discounted over the weekend as well, and the new Warband DLC. So that's very exciting. So jump in, check that out. Jump into our Discord as well. We do have the link on the over there. I always point the wrong way. We have the link over there. And I'm actually going to go with the Stardale.
Well,
and
that's the annoying thing against Thorns is I'm always like, especially like say when you're the Sepulchral Guard or Skaven maybe, I want to use the blockers and then now the blockers are useless.
yeah, right.
So like now you have to completely rethink your strategy because you can't just like put the Warden behind some blocked off hexes and call it a day.
Yeah.
It no longer is worthwhile.
Yeah, it's not as viable. I mean, if you have hidden paths and things like that, obviously you can move some people about. Like, I love having hidden paths. Thanks, Steph. Mund is just like, join our Discord for all announcements, awesome discussions, and a great place to hang out.
Good on you, Steph.
Good on you, Steph. Working on your day off. Bless.
She's just going to be hustling the stream for the rest of the day anyway.
Oh, yeah.
That's what she does on her days off, is just keep hustling.
Yeah, I don't think I've known Steph not to work a day of her life. Because she's done some other work for other companies, and that's usually like weekend work. And I'm just like, oh, wow. She said she's about to load up the game just to get the skull cards.
Yeah.
Alright, so what do I have? Let's see. Potentially. Ugh. Only upgrades, that's exactly what I want to know. Alright. Bulldog says, I'm a huge Warhammer fan and saw the game was on sale. How is it? It's great, but we're a little bit biased.
Shrug.
Wink,
Bulldog. Yeah.
Nudge, nudge.
Hey, why would we lie to you?
I don't know. We wouldn't lie to you because
No.
I mean, it's Stockholm syndrome. We just think it's a good game now. We've been in it for too long now.
I will say that so obviously where the more you play a game, I have a very good theory. I have a theory I've held for a very long time. It's not a very good theory. That the more that you play a game, the more you get used to the little idiosyncrasies, and we are a big push in the future now will be about working on clarity of the layout. And I know a lot of people talk about the UI being a bit confusing.
Mm-hmm.
That is something we're going to be tackling, but also that is something that you get used to a degree in playing it. And so the more that you kind of push through the things that we definitely have done wrong in terms of like some layout stuff, the more that at least like you'll enjoy it as it is right now. Because I think underneath it all, the actual act of playing a match is very fun in the game as it is right now.
Yeah, 100%. And it's as you were saying, with the UI and everything like that, it's different people have different ideas all the time, but also
Totally.
it's hard to know until you actually get in there and get more eyes on it, because I mean
absolutely.
we've tried our best to get feedback from our users, with closed betas and everything like that, but then until you have a larger public audience and then you find out it's just like, a lot of the UI, a lot of our testers weren't really thinking about the UI because they were thinking more about what we were focusing on as well, which was the playing, like making sure the gameplay and everything felt like the tabletop. And so maybe UI suffered because of that, but I still, I got used to it, so I was just like, yeah, this is great. I love it.
Yeah, that definitely is the Stockholm Syndrome part of it. So that's why it's very handy to have people coming in externally and telling us how they feel about things. so that
100%.
we can kind of keep working on the processes. And yeah, I mean, it's a very new style of game development in that it's quite reactive. I know
Yep.
a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for games of the past that were just, would sit in QA for half a year and then get released in this perfect, immaculate state. And but for us, there's a lot more viability in actually reacting to what people want.
Yeah.
And making it more and more enjoyable for people over time.
Yeah, exactly. Like we've definitely been thinking more about, well, it's a games as a service model, kind of like where we're going to be taking feedback as much as we can. We want to see what people are enjoying about it. We know what we enjoy about it and what makes the tabletop a fun experience. And then it's like, all right, we want to translate that to an online space, and then we have to then adapt that tabletop to an online space by taking all the feedback on board for that as well. So, okay.
Bueno.
You're gonna play me like that? You're gonna do that? All right.
My wildest dreams coming true.
Finally, just seeing all these skellies die. Oh, come on, come on. So rude.
Damn, whenever I play against these guys, they're like, I can never land a hit on them. So this is kind of surprising.
This is just going to be my day today. Is that I've played
Harvester.
Harvester. I've just been like, I lost the Neil, which I mean, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but also at the same time, it's just like, I usually win against Neil. But it's okay. We're gonna try. We're gonna try this. Come on, Hanged. Let's go.
Nice. It's really helpful having. I'm so sorry. It's really handy having I think the one really cool thing about the Thorns is some of their score immediately. It's like that's a big step up, say going into Nightvault Warbands, but even with the Thorns, is that some of their faction cards are like must-haves. Like absolutely, like even nowadays in the tabletop, when you play the Thorns, you mandatory have some of these things. Some of the score immediately are really interesting, like that Swarming Spirits one, because you have full control over it to a degree. And the ones like score this when you play a reaction. Is another really good one. And obviously like the absolute OG of, I mean, in my opinion, of Thorns is Maddening Cackle.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Inspire someone, which would be, I mean, to be honest, that'll probably be the most incredibly strong thing in our game right now, because a lot of the warbands are very leader centric, focused on kind of like just pumping up the leader or pumping up a specific fighter, like, to be honest, like, it just wipes Gerzag off, or Scritch. The ones that have fairly easy inspirations. It just means that they're just done, and it scales because, say, if you're playing against a Mollog, it's the exact same thing where you just kind of, dunk on that Mollog.
Yeah. Pardon me. Oh, I'm just throaty right now. Yeah, no, I was saying before, that playing against, Magor's Fiends, in general, where it's just like, their whole thing is to, on a successful attack, to be inspired. So if they miss and then you play Maddening Cackle, it's really just like twisting that kind of knife, going like, haha, you missed, you pleb, and you can,
you absolute pleb, you fool,
you fool, you can't inspire again. So yeah, it's a good time. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna see if my Briar Queen will actually do anything helpful from afar.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Damn.
That's tasty.
That ain't it, Chief.
That ain't it. Let's see. We've got. Ooh, I'm gonna pop Sadistic Strike onto Varklav. Oh, okay, alright. Bring Harvester back, I see how it is.
Get him out of there! Get him out of there!
Oh, come on.
Oh, this isn't turning out too well for you.
No. I mean, how many crits have you had now?
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That's it's been
yeah.
It's been a lot.
We're planning on bringing in a thing for rolling back the little history wheel sometime soon, and hopefully I would be able to actually then review how many crits I've had in the past. But you're right.
Yeah. Look, it's
sometimes it gets very one-sided.
I think it mainly feels one-sided when you're losing as well. Steph says, Matt and crits, name a more iconic duo. You just seem to get a lot, hey. I really just like hate that feeling of playing against someone like Steelheart's Champions and seeing all those crits pop off. You just like stop, especially on defense.
Yeah. I mean, double defense is just too good, really.
Yeah. Let's see if we can't
get on you.
Try and keep Farclav alive. Nope.
Little tech.
Apparently not.
Oh, that's okay here.
Oh, God bless. Thank you.
Honor amongst enemies.
Yep. You I can never say that you never did anything for me. Because you did that.
That'll probably win you the game now, like Varclav comes in and just wipes.
Well, I'm seeing if I can't try something at least.
Because creepy terror. The double combo, this is
Because now I get a reaction.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh. Oh. Ooh. Come on. Oh, but the rolls.
So sorry.
The rolls let me down there.
Everything else was fine. It was just the rolls.
It's those kind of strats though, of like those like little reactions that get you those like one glories of the score immediately. It's like that can really. That's.
You can just tank. You can just tank objectives like me.
Yeah. Exactly. Dang. Because I was getting distracted by our lovely conversations. That's the reason. That's
fair enough.
Reason. But yeah, look, it's just this entering into Nightvault kind of territory as well, where that's where we were seeing a lot more of those score immediatelys and everything like that, and you'd be having these games where it would be weird for people not to have like 10 glory at the end of the first round. So I think just like moving forward, we're going to be seeing a lot more people getting strategic with their objective cards, but also their upgrades. Because I know for a lot of like new people to the game, they'll think to themselves, well, I don't really want upgrades in the first hand, right? Because I'm not going to be able to implement them. With more of these kind of score immediately cards, that means upgrades could be played sooner, and that means that it doesn't mean that you have to necessarily get rid of your whole hand at the start if you have like 4 upgrades, because if you have 1 score immediately, that's going to help you out.
I mean, and we do have plans eventually. I know there's been a bit of questions about moving up the rule set, because when we released the game it was aimed around the Shadespire rule set, and as you can see by us getting in Thorns, we're not following the board game as a one-to-one thing. We're doing what we feel is actually going to be kind of like the best for the game, or provide the most options for people in the game. So moving up the rule set to like say Nightvault and Beastgrave is on the table, and that will be something that there is a lot of little steps into it, but obviously something like restricting surge objectives, especially as we get more of the really cool ridiculous surge objectives in there, will be really good. That is going to happen eventually, and it will probably happen quite soon, to be honest.
What are these rolls, Matt?
Well, I mean, nobody rolled anything in that.
I know.
What do you mean your rolls?
my rolls particularly are just like super bad today, but that's okay. That's what we're here for. We're here to see me lose.
You could have put the queen there and inspired her.
I could have, but also I feel as though you would come in and be able to just,
I'm gonna go for the Hail Mary.
Something like that, yeah. Oh, okay, on Petitioner. I see what you're doing. I'm going to
Nice.
put.
Well played.
Let's see if we can't figure stuff out. Like it's gonna take me a fair bit to actually come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the value of like if you get objective playoff. That's why objectives are viable in this game at all. Is like if they start working for you, like hold objective cards.
Yeah.
If you can get a few of them off in a good stack, then you just ramp so much. That it's very hard to kind of tackle that because it's free money at that point.
Yeah. Free money. Free money. We actually have some questions over on our Steam stream, which is great. One of the questions being, will you bring all the warbands to the online version of the game? We would love to bring as many as we can. We are obviously doing things a little bit differently, though. Ooh, yes. We've done a majority of Season 1 as being Shadespire. We've now put in one of the Season 2... I'm going to get rid of... Go away. Yeah.
Shit.
We've brought in one of the Season 2 warbands, specifically for this, Skulls event. We've been wanting to show off, what magic and stuff will be looking like in the future. And yeah, just because we haven't done, Garrick's Reavers and stuff now, doesn't mean that they won't be coming in later on. We are wanting to swap things up a little bit, hey?
Yep. Yeah, that's that would be pretty much how I would say it is. Yeah, it's like we're really kind of like trying to figure out what is going to be the most worthwhile thing for people playing it, and I like as much as because people are very tied to specific warbands, and we also want to provide that. Like I know there's a ton of people who are very keen on, say, like Chosen Axes. And we do want to provide for that kind of thing. For those people, but we're also trying to like see what's going to be like the best thing for everybody. Like it's going to be the most fun to play with or the most interesting stuff to get in.
Yeah,
that is definitely a part of it.
I mean, one of the classic questions, Matt, is tabletop. What are you playing? What do you like to play?
Oh my god!
Oh god! Oh, oof!
Oh yes, you little ripper! I forgot I had this card. Oh, I can't make an attack with that guy. Never mind.
It's alright. You'll come in with someone else. I knew it. I knew you were coming in. Yeah, so my question to you, Matt, is what is your preferred tabletop warband right now?
All the way. Yeah, I mean, we haven't played for a long time because we used to play in the office, and obviously we're not in there now.
Yeah.
But absolutely the Gits. I love them.
Yeah.
Really, there's a lot of there's just like so much variety to playing the Gits. Like you can take it so many different angles. I think if they were in the game, I would have all of my decks would just be different. Like all of my deck slots would just be different Gits, warbands, because there's so many options to what you can do with them.
I'm coming in.
It's definitely very different to pretty much all of the others. Oh yes.
Oh, what? Come on. That's
pretty good.
Ridiculous.
Well, got your change of Tic Tacs.
Yes. Okay. Pop that there.
I don't actually know what I'm doing here.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, like, until, like, there's a fair bit of that in Beastgrave, too. There's some warbands that have very, like, cool, multiple different ways of playing them. But a lot of, especially for Shadespire, a lot of them are built around, this is a very specific style of play, because they were really archetypal at that point.
Yeah.
Whereas something like the Gits or, like, the Trappers, I find it's, like, very interesting that you can kind of go down a ton of different avenues. They're the ones that I enjoy a lot more. I'm not really a meta player.
Yeah.
More of just like, play something really janky because it's fun.
Oh yeah, like Steph as well.
Yeah. Actually. Hey. Oh, that was just drawn, was it?
Yeah. Well, I did have it before, but apparently it needed to wait until the next activation. That might be something
if
we
you,
need to look
draw
into.
that, if you draw that, I believe that it's.
Oh, okay. It wasn't
it can only be scored on the next activation if you've just drawn it. But if that was in your hand the whole time, it might have been a bug.
No, so yeah, that would have been because I got change of tactics at the end.
Yeah, sure.
Then that would have just drawn death sentence.
Cool.
Yeah.
No worries. That was something that we had to fix up quite recently. Objective cards having a bit of very much the wrong implementation of how they were getting scored when drawn. So that has been sorted out.
Oh yeah. What am I doing here? What year is it? Where are we? What's going on?
There is a fair bit of fun, different kind of avenues to be played with Thorns because they are so like unit heavy. They can play objectives, but also like the Briar Queen is such a beast. You can really aim just down, working on the Briar Queen, and getting some spell casting done. But also like you have a fair bit of stuff with Varklav that really helps. Oh, big push. He's got knockback 2 and knockback 1.
Yep, knockback 1. It's because he's got. Ooh, my turn. Nice. Got the. Oof. Where's my crits? Where's my crits? Matt.
Who's gonna have something in your back pocket? Ah, oh, well there you go.
Yeah, just not where I wanted it. Just. Ugh. Let's see. I am excited, as I mentioned before to Neil as well, that I haven't actually unlocked any of the skins and stuff for the Briar Queens, and that's what I'm excited to see. Because obviously we've all been quite busy over the last few weeks, so I haven't actually. Ooh, here we go. I haven't actually been able to see like what these skins are going to be looking like. So
yeah, true.
I'm excited to play a couple more matches and check out the dealio. Oof, again, here we go.
This is a pretty good upgrade, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oof.
Rolls are going really one way or the other.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, I was a fool and I missed out on scoring something for a very dumb reason.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I'll probably fob this card. It was chosen champion and I definitely could have actually got it, but
yeah.
I completely forgot to do it during the round.
Right, I'm gonna keep those ones and see how I go. This is what I've been noticing as well with this with the Briar Queens is that I'm using more of my cards. Usually in the past, I usually like hold on to things.
Sure.
When it comes to ploys and gambits and spells and things like that now. But now it's like, oh, I can actually play things immediately and I move. Like I've got 18 cards in my discard pile.
In your discard, yeah, sure.
Yeah. That usually has not happened for me before.
Well, it's not by default, I think Shadespire isn't a very cycle-heavy game in terms of a card game, but definitely as the seasons progress, it becomes more like that. So I think that it's like it's the great benefit of like score immediately. That's why like surges are just so good. Is because you can just cycle through your objective cards, while also actually scoring your objective cards.
Yeah.
And the more that we add for power cards like that, the better, I think.
Yes.
I love those kind of cards.
Ooh.
Nice.
There we go. Boom.
Oh.
He's coming back, baby. Like I'm very surprised after like that huge lead you had at the start that like I'm not too far off, you know what I mean?
I suppose.
Alright, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can't get Howling Vortex. Oh, that will do it. So with that, I get to move all of your fighters one hex. So I'm gonna pop you back. I'm gonna pop you this way. I'm gonna move the petitioners back. We're gonna just move everyone back a little bit. Hey, just, you know, if you can just pop up that objective, that would be great. We're gonna pop this petition over here, and then we're going to probably just like move this champion over here as well. There we go. Isn't that nice? Wasn't that a nice thing that we did? Because is it season 2 where there's like earthquake or something? Is that a thing where?
No, that was a season 1.
Season 1.
From what I can remember.
Okay.
Maybe that's not the case, but yeah, yeah. Well, earthquake, yeah. There was 2 cards in particular in season 1 that were very annoying. Because like there was earthquake and there was concussive blast, or what was it called? Something like that. Earthquake was, move every fighter in the same direction 1 hex, whereas the other one was move every fighter within 2 hexes of within 2 distance of a hex away from that hex, and that was the worst card. At least earthquake you can kind of tech against. You just put another earthquake, like you just counter it by playing an earthquake in the opposite direction. But that other one, I don't think we'll ever see play in Warhammer Underworlds Online, or if it was, it would definitely come in as a restricted thing. It was quite unhealthy for the game.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got Neil still in the chat saying, yeah, season 1. Okay, so... Ooh. Strangling Coil, forever hanged. We have Ghost Type, hey Ghost Type, which is our producer Nick, saying it's a cool game. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, huge shout out to the entire team who have worked so hard over the last few weeks to get this content together for this awesome event. We're very excited to be part of the Skullthrones event because it's kind of like a little mark, a little flag in our development cycle of like, Skulls was a year ago where we first showed the game to the public, and now we're here again showing more. It's really cool.
Kind of zoning out because I had such a lead, and now it's kind of coming back to me. Oh well.
What we're gonna do is, I wonder. Do we think it's possible? I'm gonna try this out, because why not? Because that's why. Just because of terrible rolls. But we will try Endless Malice to go again. And we will not get any of those. Wow. Wow. Ooh-wee. What a sad day for me. Pardon me. Okay. Alrighty, well, what we're going to do is, if we can't move my spooky over here. We're both kind of in it now. There's been less talking because we're both like, nah, mate, nah. This is all fun and games. Fun and games.
Oh, well, you got this. It keeps doing it to the Everhanged. I keep forgetting these upgrades. Oh, it's so good.
Come on, Everhanged.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, my bad.
That's okay. See, that's the beauty of when I edit this later, is that I can put a little bleep over that. No one will be any wiser. Alrighty. I should have drawn another card, but that's alright.
Did
We'll
you
see.
pass?
No.
Goes on guard. Fair enough.
Dang. Because I was hoping you wouldn't have been taking that objective.
Wah.
Just because I had as Nagash commands. So then I would have gotten like a few more. But fortunately, it's not how it goes. Ugh. Alright, well. GG.
It's so agonizing when you're not playing Magors because you just don't roll. Like, if I'm not playing Magors, I just don't roll well. I just want to play them.
I mean, you rolled pretty well. That was very good roll.
Yeah, that is true. That's a good point. I think that it's to be honest, the Harvester is probably the most finely balanced player in the character in the entire game, because it's right on that sweet spot where sometimes you just roll like a god.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just terrible. And everybody else is kind of either one way or the other around that. But like, they're either like too good or they're just terrible. But the Harvester is right in the sweet spot of being a just good enough but not really good unit.
Oh yeah. Alright, well, we have enough time to do one quick one. If you want to do
absolutely.
a quick one. With that though, do you want to play Briar Queens? Because I haven't...
could? Yeah, I'll swap over, yeah, absolutely.
And I might play Skaven, because that's something that, I'll give you time to like make a deck and everything like that.
That's okay. I kind of have I think I have the base deck here.
Okay.
I'll do some little fiddling, but I think I'll be okay.
Sure. I mean, yeah, the kind of base deck for that one is pretty good. I am just double checking all of mine, because I haven't seen this Skaven deck in a while. Okay. Yeah, that should be fine, I think. Yeah. So same code again?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yep.
Alright.
Give me a couple of seconds and I will totally do it.
Q. Cool. Well, while you're doing that, you tell me when you're ready, and I will do all the plugging, which is... We are obviously live right now, showing off this Skulls event, but we do have a lot of cool stuff happening right now. So we have, for the Skulls event, the base game itself is 40% off, which is a huge discount. With that, you'll be getting, obviously, the 6 initial warbands with over 100 universal cards, I believe, or around 100 universal cards that we've got in-game. With that, we'll be updating the game to include more universal cards in the future. We do also right now have the Thorns of the Briar Queen that just came out, and that is also discounted at 20% for the Skulls event. We do have a limited edition card skin for the event as well, which you will have seen in-game. And you can only get that during the Skulls event this weekend, so make sure to jump in, check that out. We on our socials as well. You can check us out there. We're going to be posting things all over the weekend, and we have our Discord. Jump in, check us out. That is the Discord GG at WoWo game, Warhammer Underworld's online game, and you can chat with us, some of the devs. You can chat with other members of our community who are already playing the game and showing off their card decks, everything like that. And we've got miniatures being painted, all that cool stuff. So jump on in. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything there, but I probably did. We'll find out.
Alright, well, I'm prepped to go.
I'm good to go. Capital Steel Sky. And yeah, this will be the last match for today, just because for this stream, as I have, I'm in a communal space where other people are going to be doing meetings and calls because it is still work day. So yeah, I've been very fortunate to have this block of time set aside. I also have a cool red light for the Skulls event as well. I've had that going on me. I'll pop this right here so it's really, really evident.
Didn't go the whole way of painting your face as a skull or something.
No, but I do have my Skulls mug with me. I did get that from the office the other day. You know what? Let's go through some things.
Ready to go.
Now, what do I actually have in this deck? I don't really know, so we're going to find this out the hard way. So Matt, what's going to be, I mean, obviously we've got a lot of stuff that we can't talk about, but what is something that you have really enjoyed, like, developing for the game, and like what's been one of the hardest things to implement right now, but then also what's been one of the hardest things to implement that's going to be super handy in the future, in the longevity of the game, like moving into more seasons, something like Magic, for example, you know?
Yeah. Well, we what would be the most fun that's currently in the thing? I would say that oh, this is a pretty good hand in general. I'd say that it's been a lot of interesting stuff, kind of like working with making some of our networking tools like a bit more robust, which it really means we can get a lot more like information about what people are playing, and you know, when problems occur. So that's actually been quite interesting because it's not like anything I'd really done in the past, which is always like the most fun thing for programmers, I think, is like the stuff that you've never done before, and so you just kind of you're starting like, what the heck am I going to do? And then by the end of it, you're like, oh, that was easy. Oh yeah. I think actually, to be honest, the most fun thing, or the thing that I was really dreading, and this is like on release, we obviously didn't release with like the friend code system, or like, you know, doing Steam friends invites and stuff. And that was like, to a degree, it was something that we had always thought was quite relevant, but we were concerned about how much time it was going to take to set that up. And then actually getting that implemented, we found quite a fun solution for it, which was focused around like using these match codes that we have in the game right now. And I'm actually really happy with that system. And to be honest, if I had gone back, I probably wouldn't have put Steam invites at all because I just like the match code system so much.
Yeah.
Specifically, I really enjoyed that. Like, just being able to, no matter if you're on the Discord or on Steam or anything, if you have someone, they don't have to be a Steam friend with you. You don't have to know them at all. You can just both put in the code and start a matchup. Is something I really enjoy about the game. And so, like, you know, when we're testing, if we want to match against each other, we don't really have to use the Steam invite system. We can just put in a code like this, put in Steel Sky and start playing. And I think it has a lot of like opportunities, you know, for like stuff like playing tournaments. I think some of the online tournaments, I would assume, are running through the match coding things mostly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how that's happening, because
totally.
For those who are unaware, we do have a very active community who have actually organized their own online clash, which has been super cool to see. With that, we So Dragon's just confirmed. He said, "Yep." So yeah, that's how that's been happening. Where people will match up, post their winnings, and then with that, I think there's actually like cash prizes and stuff that people have been doing, which is really cool. So yeah, it's been really cool to see that implemented and people taking advantage of that. Hey.
Yeah, absolutely. That is, I think that is quite a fun thing to do with it, and I think that there is other avenues, like say streamers just putting in a code and then just saying, well, anybody who, whoever I match with, I'm gonna play against.
Yeah.
And the code is just up for grabs. But yeah, like having the tourneys, that is kind of like a fundamental part of the tournament stuff. I'd say it's a very good way of going, and pretty much no matter what we would incorporate in terms of tournament functionality in the future, I think that'll be a big part of it always, is at least having some aspect like the match codes in there. Probably more relying on that instead of having like lobbies, at least until we have 3-player and 4-player games in place.
Yeah, I saw, that question being brought up before by Dragon, and you kind of answered it about when it comes to different things that people are looking for when it comes to. We just had something funny in the chat. I'll get to that in a second.
Want to become famous?
Want to become famous? Yeah, I would love to become famous. But yeah, so when it comes to spectator modes and 3 or 4 players, that's going to be something that is like, yeah, obviously we want that kind of stuff in the future, but that I would imagine be quite a bit to implement, right?
Yeah, and that certainly is something that it's going to be. That's always going to be a very long scale thing. That we want to put in is like custom modes and multiplayer modes. A lot of the game is we've already tried to build it around being able to have that kind of dynamic system for like making different types of game modes and everything. So hopefully that's going to be a bit more of a part of the game in the future. But yeah. That's something that's going to take a lot longer. I'm getting totally distracted during this conversation because I'm still trying to plot out my...
That is a-okay. I am not doing well at all. I'm trying to figure out what I want to be doing.
Things for the future. I mean, there's so many things that I think will be very fun for people to play with. Obviously, we're working with different social features. We're working with
my rolls today. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, he shrinks. Oh, so sad. Gotta have a little uninspiring animation, actually.
He's just, he's insane. He's laughing because of the sadness.
He gets miserable. Yeah. Fair enough.
That's that hashtag relatable content. But yeah, as you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that there's a lot of social features that we want to get in. Like, we've always been talking about stuff like, having some way for the players to communicate between each other is obviously a big priority for us. That is definitely something we want to get in. We're just trying to figure out what would be the best avenue for that. Having more stuff for customization is always fun. That's also something that we've kind of tried to build. I would deal with all of these questions from a very technical thing, because for me it's fun just thinking about the technical part of the game.
Yeah.
But building the game in a fashion where we can do a lot of cosmetics and a lot of cool stuff you can modify your characters with would be very interesting, and we want to there's a lot being put into place to kind of build the game like that.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we can do more of that stuff. Definitely is my big focus. Is just kind of about I just like content, like quality of life content, and making things very enjoyable for people.
Yeah, and that's why we've always
have a lot of stuff to push forward. Keep playing the game and keep unlocking more stuff. And
yeah, I mean that's why we've been so active in our Discord, and that's why we have the link to the Discord at the a top menu so that people can come in and be like, oh, like I really like this part of the game. I would like to see more of this or more of that. And we can go like, yeah, cool. Like we absolutely agree. Or maybe there are things that we hadn't considered when it comes to just like longevity of things, or maybe someone can like word things a little bit differently. Like it's always good to get that kind of feedback. So yeah. Like there's people talking in our Discord right now about, Riot Queens and what that means for the game, what comes next, and all that kind of stuff. Oh my god!
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Oh my goodness! Like that's twice. That's twice that's rolled nothing, and I think it's been the exact same dice. I blame you, Matt.
It's just hammers. Just hammers.
Like how's it? It's fine. I'm fine. It's A-okay.
Come on, Planky, don't fail me now, Plank.
Oh,
what have you done to me, Plank?
that's the roles I want to be seeing. Like I'm actually upset. I'm just gonna one more try. Let's see.
Ooh.
There it is. Finally.
Oh no.
Goodness gracious. Just
sometimes,
to get to there.
Sometimes it just happens like that. You just keep. It's really when you have an objective in your hand that you got to score.
Yeah. It
just will fail and fail. They're the real miserable games. I feel like at that point, that's when you just want to be like, maybe we'll incorporate a button that's just like, let's just try again. Let's start again here.
Yeah. I know that a lot of
use in tournaments.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been kind of so a big part of the Discord has been around conceding, right?
Sure.
So,
yeah.
like, as one of the developers, but also as a gamer yourself, like, what are your thoughts on like conceding and what seems fair? Because before we didn't really have like we had a leave option. Then we reworded it to make sure that it said concede, and that we then made sure in messaging that people understood that if you're conceding, you're not getting XP. That means it's going to take you longer to unlock cool cosmetics and stuff. Yeah. But how do you feel about everything with that?
Well, definitely, like the conceding wording is definitely tied to like when we started putting in progression systems. That actually, McGrath just said something which is very much the point. Is unfortunately, it's kind of part and parcel of making an online game, because it's not anything that can really ever be escaped entirely, because like there is no face-to-face contract and understanding that you want to you have at least some sort of like human contract between you two that means that you want to be polite and stick it out, wait for the game to get over. And that's not something that, unfortunately, it's not something that can exist in a digital sphere. We can go towards it. You add stuff like communication between the players, and incentivizing people to understand that both players are humans. They're actually people. They actually just want to play a good match. But there's always going to be people who, for them, like the convenience of the online space is that you don't have to necessarily wait around. You don't feel that obligation to the other person. You might just want to really quickly get a game in, and if it goes for longer than 20 minutes or something, maybe you're just like, I'm leaving, I'm going. And you want to make sure that those people are at least able to play the game at some sort of aspect. I'd say that there's the benefit of this is that there's a ton of different options that we can choose between to kind of as like solutions for this. And definitely getting communication into the game in a way where people feel slightly connected to each other is going to be really helpful. I'd say that another part is about, whether there is some sort of way that people can understand that they have to dedicate themselves to this match. This is always the option with having multiple kind of queues, like ranked and unranked, and playing against friends. understanding what the rule set is for each of those. Maybe if there is a bit of variation in those rules.
Yeah.
But I would say that it is something that's always kind of going to be inevitable. Unless you're playing against your friends, there's always going to be someone who just doesn't want to bother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
yeah, I mean, we'll just look into it more and more as we keep playing.
And, yeah, fortunately... Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, you little ripper! I've never landed that.
Oh, I've never seen that little skull animation
Yeah.
before. There you go. Alright, so what I'm going to do is...
I think that there's tons more to talk about this topic. Like,
oh, yeah.
There's always more things about this, and it's funny because it is people who are tabletop players or who are very polite players kind of brushing up against people who maybe are more digital focused. In that a lot of the people kind of assume the problem with this issue is that a lot of people kind of assume what they would do in the scenario.
Of course.
And while that is true, it's like you're just understanding that you're nice enough to stick around. That doesn't mean that somebody else is nice enough to stick around.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't mean your priorities are their priorities.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to kind of see the other person's side with these things, unfortunately.
Yeah, because as well, like being a online game, it's so many different people, right? Of just like you don't understand the context of who they are, where they are, what, like maybe they've just played, 20 matches in a row.
Never rolled a crit.
Yeah, never rolled a crit. Like I've been going this morning, and maybe they're just like, or maybe they've just been called to dinner, all that kind of stuff. You just don't.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
come on.
Oh no.
Oh, there we go.
How much is that going to be?
That's only a little bit. It's only helping a little bit.
Oh my goodness. I gotta get the heck out of there. Oh, I tell you what, if I got 2 crits, I would have been really...
Yeah,
I would not have been in a good place there.
You would not have been in a good place at all. Oh, you okay, that's interesting. I thought you would have tried to keep Spikeclaw and Kirk separate because I've got the bodyguard thing.
Oh, you've got
Kirk.
the thing. I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
This is why fighter clarity is pretty handy.
Yeah.
Run away!
Okay.
Run away! At least the benefit of being able to phase through your own people.
Yeah. Alright, let's see if I can. Come on. Oh, there it is.
It's pretty good.
Beautiful. Love it. Fantastic.
Nice.
Amazing.
Oh, perfect. Outstanding move.
Fantastic. This is what I've been looking for. Oh, okay. Alright.
Straight down the bowling strip.
Ooh. That was 4 hexes. I'm still not used to them moving that far.
There's 5 hexes. He's got +1 move.
Oh, dang. Wow. Yeah. That's why. Okay. Well, what we're going to do is... just gonna go on guard. Well, currently right now we're up to 2,721 people viewing our Steam Store broadcast. Hi there, if you've got your eyes on that. If I say that number later and, it's not that number, it's because I'm going to be using this footage later on as we broadcast over the weekend for the Skulls event, because there's a lot of cool stuff. Is there anything in the Skulls event that you've want to be checking out, Matt? That's something that's not our game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would definitely say I haven't actually looked at what Inquisitor Martyr is doing for this, but that's a game that I didn't mind playing in the past. It's definitely had a lot of fun playing that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's always Total War Warhammer. I actually
course.
haven't taken a peek about specifically what they're doing in the event yet. But I know everybody's got their own little, like, everyone's got their content, everyone's got their thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing this background and we're giving away the card back. So
yeah.
I'd be pretty keen to look into those two.
Well,
yeah.
fortunately for you,
Vermintide
the sale
obviously will be
goes.
doing something.
Yeah, the event goes for the whole weekend, so you know.
Yeah, very handy.
Very handy. Take that time off that you so thoroughly deserve, and check out some games. I know, like for me, I'm probably going to be looking into some Total War Warhammer,
Yeah, cool.
just because like we were fortunate enough to get some codes for those a while ago to check out. So I've dabbled a little bit now.
Yeah.
It's a complex game. Not gonna lie.
They make one game and they make it really good.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Okay.
Yeah,
alright.
true.
Oof. All right. What am I gonna do here? Is the question, Matt. Okay. I'm gonna go. Alright, I'm gonna try this and hope that it works. Come on. Ugh!
Very close.
Kirk, you're the
You
worst.
failed me. You failed me, Kirk.
Get out of there. I don't want you there anymore.
Oh.
Get
well
out
played.
of there.
Well, fantastic card for Skaven. Zoomies.
Gotta love the zoomies. Ah, that sudden appearance. Ooh.
I think this might be a bad idea.
Well,
I'm gonna try it anyway.
We'll see. We'll see. Because I mean, it's Briar Queen inspired. One hit kill. So we've got a few people saying a few things on it. Let's have a look.
Dawn of War for $4. Oh, I thoroughly recommend. I would actually even I'd recommend any of the Dawn of Wars. Like even Dawn of War 3, it's very different from the other two, but has some fun stuff and the absolute stellar animations and models. Like that game looks ridiculous. It's yeah, but for $4, you can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. That's a coffee. That's a coffee. Someone over on Steam has asked how often we'll be receiving warbands, as in releasing warbands. We've definitely got a few warbands in the works at the moment. Obviously we brought this out for the. Oh, come on, yes. We brought out the what am I trying to say? The Briar Queens for the Skulls event. But yeah, we're hopefully doing more stuff in the future. What? What are you doing?
Bueno.
That is just so rude. How rude of you. I don't enjoy that at all. Why would you do that to me?
Yeah, I mean, where the way that we see it, the two main threads of content are really about cards and warbands.
Yeah.
And so our aim is always to kind of balance those two, especially since cards, we feel like cards are kind of a rising tide, lifting all ships, and that's why we're really wanting to add them for free as part of the game. So obviously, you in this game, you have a ton of generic universal cards that are able to be used by any warband, and when you buy the base game, you get all of those cards for free and all future updates for those universal cards.
Yeah.
So you will only ever have to buy warbands, and that's only if you enjoy playing as this one warband or you think that they're cool.
Yeah.
And so that's also kind of like a big focus for us, is to continue to kind of push out that stuff because it helps everyone, and it's content that we can give out to everyone. So that is the other. Generally, I would say at the very least we're going to be alternating. The crits don't count.
Ooh.
Very well done. Yeah, we're definitely going to be alternating between warbands and card releases at the very least. That's all I can really say is that I would say before we have another warband, there will be another card release between these two. And that will be, I would say that that's always going to be the plan for the future. And
sometimes there might be like multiple warbands at once, or it might be that there's going to be maybe two card releases in a row if we've got special cards coming out or anything like that. But we usually try to keep people as updated as we possibly and legally can in our Discord. We like to keep people up to date there. So if you want to know more, jump over to our Discord. We've got the link over here.
I would say that that is definitely like part of the thing is there might be in the future different avenues for releasing warbands in terms of whether it's kind of like how quickly we can implement them as well, how easily it is or like how worthwhile it is for us to be implementing them faster, and we just want to get content in. And there's a whole ton of other the thing is that's the 2 tracks right now, but there is also the idea of other game modes like Gargant and whatever the one is, I've forgotten the name, that is like the one unit, take the 1 unit into a single board and then you fight till the end. God, what's that called? Cataphrane something, I've forgotten. Where you take 1 unit and then it's just a free-for-all death match between everyone has 1 unit, and every time you die you can bring it back and put an upgrade on it, and I love that mode actually. I haven't played that for almost a year.
Because you've been too busy playing our game.
Pretty
Make sure
much,
it works,
actually. And kind of takes over.
Alright, let's see.
But yeah, so I would say that that's going to be another. I'd say that would be another thing that would be almost like a track of content in the future. To be able to add more custom game modes and add other features for people. So we might, and we're really seeing right now about how simple it is for us to get the different types of content in. So the further we get into it, the more we'll be able to go, this is exactly how long it'll be for us to develop warbands, and now we can say that it will be this amount of time every time. But right now, we're really testing the waters of what we can do.
Which is super cool. So Chris is saying that they want to buy it, but they're not sure if their laptop will be able to handle it. That is definitely, I hear you totally, and that is another aspect of the game that we want to work on is optimization. I'd say you can certainly review it or maybe see if anybody else has your kind of specs and how they're playing with it. We will be focusing on optimization a lot more in the future. We hope that everybody can play it on pretty low level machines, because really it's a mechanics game. This isn't supposed to be like Crisis. We're building the game. We're building the game for mechanics more than we're building it for how good looking it is. Private Pile has asked what would be about the average price of DLC. So DLC, being warbands, that is actually always $6.99 USD. But for the purposes of the Skull event, we actually have a discount right now. How dare you? That's great. I was really hoping to get that knockback on Everhanged because I had denial as well.
Okay.
Well, GG. I have not won a single game this morning, but that is a-okay because, believe it or not, I had a lot of fun.
I'm so sorry,
that is
just the team's punching bag.
Yep, that's what I'm here for. So yeah, thanks everyone who came by the stream today. Thanks to the Seal Sky Productions team for working so hard to get all this out there. We now have the Thorns of the Briar Queen as new DLC, currently discounted for the Skulls event. Thank you to Matt for coming in, playing. Thank you to Neil coming in, just absolutely demolishing me. Yeah, make sure to jump in, try out the game. The game itself is 40% off this weekend, so like best time to get it. And yeah, jump into the Discord if you want to ask any more questions. Matt, do you have any departing words or wisdom?
No, thanks very much to our Discord community for helping us out so much with the game, and we're really keen to just kind of like keep pushing forward with you guys and find a ton of fun stuff that we can do in the game for you.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah. Thanks everyone. Now I'm doing my awkward wave at the end of every stream where I just wave until I see myself wave on the Steam Store page because the broadcast is a little bit delayed. So goodbye everyone. We will see you very soon. Probably in another couple of seconds because I'll edit this together later. Alright.